Hi, Dan here, Scootering Magazine. Right, just a quick video to give you an update on a few of the projects we've got going on. Got a whole bunch of different projects going on at the moment, all up in the air, and I'd hoped that a series of those would have come to fruition this week so that we could have then dissected them up and said, right, these ones are for YouTube, and these ones are for the magazine, and then put some content out there. But as is the case sometimes, not one of them has come to fruition this week, unfortunately. So what I've decided to do is just give you a quick update on what is coming out so that you know what to look out for next, because no doubt hopefully some of them will be of interest to different people, different projects. So we've got 3 different engine builds on the bench, which I will outline what they are for you in a minute. We've got 3 different test rides, which I'll run through those in a minute. And we've also got a number of tech tutorials, articles coming out as well in the near future as part of the ones I'm going to explain in a minute. So in basic terms, we've got this engine here. This is for a pal of mine. We've got an engine from a friend, an engine from a customer, and then my engine. So this one is just a standard Spanish Li 150, 125, forget which, standard rebuild. Pal of mine just wants his engine gutting, all the internals updating, just with, you know, new seals, new gaskets, new clutch, all the bits and pieces, new bearings, and putting back together. I got this on the bench after a long wait. Said to him, do you still want me to do this engine, because it's been with me a while? He said, yes, I do. I sent him the list of stuff, said, right, get me the parts whilst I'm, you know, raring to go. I said, now I will sort this engine out for you. That was about a month ago, not heard anything from him since. But I'm not going to stress him out over it. I don't blame him. He has been waiting ages for me to do this engine for him. He's been very patient and not stressed me out whilst I've not had time to do it. So now I have got time to do it. The fact that he hasn't got me the parts, I'm not going to stress him out. He waited for me, now it's my turn to wait for him. Under here I've got a box full of bits for a Italian SX200. Really lovely scooter. Guy doing a lovely chap doing a sympathetic rebuild on this one, restoring it all. Unfortunately, when the cases came into me, they've got some damage to them, some cracks and some chunks missing and bits and pieces, but nothing that's beyond repair. In fact, probably quite simple. But so I've taken the casings, given them back to him and said, get these sent out. He's going to send those over to Mark Broadhurst. Mark Broadhurst is going to work his magic on those and get those restored to a lovely standard. Send those back to me, and then I'll get the SX out onto the bench, and I will get the cameras on it, and I will work through the rebuild and show you just some step-by-step basics of how I put the scooters, put the engines together. But this one's going to be for me. You'll probably be aware if you've been watching the other videos and following the channel, the Targa Twin is a test engine that we are running a long-term test on through the magazine and through YouTube. And at some point in the future, that engine is going to have to go back. It's not my engine, I don't get to keep it. We just test it, report on it, send it back. So I've been figuring out that at some point in the future I'm going to need a replacement. So what I've decided to do is something a little bit of a mix, really. Small block casings. I'm going to get myself, I've got an option here, but what I'm looking for is a close ratio gearbox to go in here. I've got one option here, but I've got some other ideas in mind potentially about what might go in there as a close ratio gearbox. Probably a 5-plate clutch, something quite simple. I'll show you the setups that I've got choices on those and work through that, how I set up the 5-plate clutch, the clearances and stuff. Very simple, cost-effective setup. I'm thinking then perhaps an imola top end. You don't hear so much of those little imolas anymore with all these, you know, fabulous things that are coming out at the minute, multi-horsepower this, that and the other, and exotic this, that and the other. And I think the imola is still probably, I really like the TS1 kit as a 225, as a, you know, as a big block kit. And the imola to me is like they used to call it the baby TS1. So there's a lot of good all-round features on that kit which lend themselves to different criteria depending how you want to spec up the rest of the top end. And then I'll probably go with either a 26 or maybe a 28 mil Dell'Orto with a BGM Clubman, I'm thinking. So quite a sort of, maybe hoping to touch the high teens, 20 horsepower area with the kit and the pipe and the carb combo. Set it up so it's got a nice linear power delivery. So quite a pleasant ride, nothing crazy or, you know, out there in terms of power figures for that engine anyway. So those are the 3 engines, but in terms of crazy power figures, there's 3 scooters that I've got lined up for test ride. One is not so exciting, but in terms of new stuff, it's the the current state of the Targa Twin. If you've been watching those updates, you'll know that we've got the Targa up, it's out, it's running. We've done some test rides. We figure out the jetting needs sorting out and the gearing needs sorting out. So we've made some progress now on the jetting. So I'm going to do an update test ride on that with a comparison between how it was before. Then I'm going to rip the side casings off, get the cameras on it, show you me doing the tear down, probably just outside on the front lawn. Tear the casings down, see what gearing's in there. How it was delivered to us, we don't exactly know what gearing is in there because we've never had it apart. We'll take it apart, find out what's in it, and then re-gear it accordingly to give us, the better power delivery and speeds that we need, because it's revving its nuts off at the minute and not really maxing out in terms of its performance. So I will update on that. But the other 2 are quite interesting. I've got what I would probably currently today consider to be the highest performing scooter out there at the moment in terms of, well, its top speed and its power and everything, lined up for a nice little review of. And also something which is what I can only describe as a high performing engine, but which is currently running some very touring based specifications on it, although I couldn't really call it a touring engine yet. But I don't really want to go too far into that until I've ridden the scooter, talked to the owner, talked to the engine builder, and really got a bit more specifics behind that to have a bit more of an informed opinion on it. So we've got 3 exciting test rides all lined up there. And then the last thing is some tech stuff. What I get asked for quite a lot is how-tos, just not complicated stuff, just simple stuff about whether it's shimming gearboxes or clearances on clutches or setting up top ends for port timing, squish clearances and stuff like that. So I'm going to do some, as I build these 3 engines, going to do some how-tos, get the tools out, show you what each tool is good for, how I utilise it, and what measurements I use to set up specific top ends. So there's basically your 3 engine builds, your 3 test rides, and then some tech tutorials. Those are coming up soon. Sorry I couldn't deliver you anything this week, but it's been a crazy week. Nothing came to fruition, so just an update video to let you know what's coming next. Hope to deliver you some of those nice bits and pieces soon. See you on the next video.